Hello, this is Michael Williams. I am here today with Tyler Farah.
Sounds good.
Okay. Tyler, thank you, first of all, for agreeing to do this interview. You know, and you've watched some of my interviews. And as I've told you, some people are very private and they don't want to do interviews, but it's really a blessing to other people when they can sit and they can watch or they can listen to people that have struggled and are maybe even still working on their speech and are going through this journey. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you. No problem.
So today we're just going to talk about a few things. I'd like to ask you, tell me a little bit about what life was like for you before we started this process.
I guess I would say that a lot of times I'd be really scared about any situation.
Hmm.
Uh, when for if I had to speak to pretty much anybody,
Hmm.
trying to think of a good example. Well, like when I started, I in high school, my speech was never really a problem. I
Hmm.
would I had friends since like grade school, and I never really thought about my speech. Then I get into college, and in college, you've got presentations all the time. You've got to talk to people, meet new people. I played soccer, so I had to meet teammates and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
And getting through college, I wouldn't say it was tough, but it was tough at the same time as far as speaking because I had a major where I would have to do a lot of like presentations. They weren't big 15-minute ones, but they would be a 2-minute speech about a condition and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I made it through college and I got out, and I kind of saw that I had a fearful, a fearful view of
Hmm.
what's to come in the future.
Hmm.
And I kind of thought I need to fix my speaking habit.
Hmm.
So I found Michael, and he's helped me out a lot. I went from living at home to a internship at a gym as a personal trainer. And what's crazy about it is that it's group training. And on my second day there, I had a class of 18 people. So as you can imagine, that freaked me out. I would say I stumbled through that one. But once I got done with that and I met the people, and the fear kind of just it went away. And
Hmm.
now I have a class twice a day at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and I have classes ranging from 3 to 10 people. Take them through a warm up, their exercises, the whole thing. And I never thought that I could have done that 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah, and you just got finished telling me that your mother and your grandmother didn't think that you'd be doing that either, right?
It's not that they never thought I couldn't do it,
Mm.
but they saw that I struggled with my speech sometimes,
Yeah.
and in that type of job, you're going to have to speak to people, and you're speaking in groups. So they never really thought that I I wouldn't say they didn't think that I would do well, but they didn't know if I could do it. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing now.
Now let's rewind a little. I remember that some of the things that you told me that you struggled with at your other job, the job that you were working when you were at home, is people would come up to you and I remember the one thing you told me that was funny is that you were at church. I believe maybe you were where you are now, and you were at church, and a guy came up.
Yeah, yes.
Just describe that briefly and tell us the word that you used. And you were like, okay, I can't keep doing
Shoot, that one.
it.
Yeah,
Describe that.
instead, like as far as people saying or like to kind of use that word to get through to the next word, I had a habit of saying shoot instead. Don't ask why. And I was at church, and this guy walked up to me, told me his name. So of course I freak out. I'm like, I have to say my name. So I shake his hand and I say, let's just say hi, I'm Tyler. Instead, I go, shoot, Tyler. Just trying to get the shoot to get my name out. And it sounded really funny. It was really awkward, but it's over.
So things like that would happen to you. You'd be at work and you were working as a lifeguard, right?
Hmm.
And you'd want to I think you told me you need to give directions about going over the bridge.
I worked at a place where it was a really nice place.
Mhm.
Like people paid a lot of money to come here and stay, and I would have to talk to people daily. And a lot of times they'd ask me about the hotel or how to get to a certain place. And one big question they asked me all the time, it'd be simple, was how do you get to the slides? It's really hard to see, but it's a really like easy route to get there. And all I have to say is walk across that bridge, and you're there. And that just became a problem for me. Not as far as it was a big deal, but not to where I was happy with what I was saying.
Yeah.
So,
And so we started working together, and you eventually were able to say that,
mhm.
smoothly and easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did you find me, and why did you choose me? Right. There's a lot of people out there. I'm not the cheapest, right? So, and you just had graduated from college not too long.
Hmm.
Right? So, how did you find me, and why did you choose me to work with you?
As far as finding you, like anybody that gets stuck, we want to go to YouTube and Google and look for a secret cure to cure us as we see it. And I YouTubed it and I found you and I watched a couple of your videos on there. And I would say it was a couple months later when then I like sent you an email, and I was kind of saw at that point I need to get started. And as far as your approach, I liked your approach. Just your like videos were like helpful
Mhm.
in that time. And I looked at schools like Holland and all those, and the, for example, the one at Hollins is a 2 week thing where you go there for 2 weeks and you stay there. I don't have time for that right now. I just graduated college. I'm looking for a career. So I just picked you out of all the people, and I would say it's paid off.
Good, 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 good. Now let's talk just a little bit about what you've had to do. Your routine. Tell me just a little bit about your routine. I know it's changed now, but back when you were when we were within the first couple of months, what did you have to do every day in order to work on your speech? Please.
The affirmations, that's important.
Mhm.
I still do them to a point, but it's hard for me to think about doing them daily. And whenever it comes to mind, I'll do it. And as far as listening to a audio or a video, the best thing is this new the audio books you have,
Mhm.
because it gives you them all. You can put them on your iPhone, your iPod. And every day that I had to drive somewhere, I had a 45-minute drive to work. I would listen to it, play it back. When I get home, I'd probably listen to a new one, play it back.
Mhm.
And that really helped me. And the biggest thing was going out and practicing, because I've been lucky since we started. I've had jobs and experiences where I've had to talk to people.
Mhm.
I've never had a job like a desk job where you don't talk to anybody all day.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's paid off since then. That's what I've been doing. I wouldn't say you need to, what's the word? You need to, I'm really not having a block here. I'm just trying to think of a word. You need to immerse yourself. That's
Immerse
what you
yourself.
like to say. Yeah. And I would say I'm guilty of never fully being able to dip everything into it
Yeah.
and do as much as I possibly can, which is probably why I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but I'm getting close to it.
Mm.
So if I had any tips, I would say do exactly what you're supposed to do. But I've just been busy, and that's a poor excuse. But I probably could have done more. But as you can see that I'm speaking now, my speech is not bad. If I met somebody right now, they probably would have no idea that I see myself as somebody that has a stammer.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
And about how much time did you used to spend? You know, yeah,
daily,
yeah, yeah. Not
as
now, but back then when we.
as far as the audios, because of the car trip, I would drive every day. So anywhere from an hour and a half to two max, probably.
What about practicing and modeling?
Modeling, practicing, I would film myself from time to time. As far as I said, I've never immersed myself. I could have done it more, but I would practice daily because I'd have to talk to people daily. And even a casual conversation with somebody, I would try to use your techniques and tips such as extending words. That's helped me out a lot, and inflecting my voice.
Okay, so let's talk about extending. You said that that's been one of the most helpful things for you, extending.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for people that don't know what that means, extending?
Extending your words, it puts a I just got a block there. A emphasis on the word that you have a heart that you want to say, such as this is a really hard example. Can I have an example? Like, what's a good example of?
Well, you said that you're putting an emphasis on the word. So basically, I guess what you're doing, in fact, you've been doing it the whole time, is you've been stretching, like some people call it stretching.
Mm-hmm.
You've just been extending the words out. And so by extending the words, how has that benefited you? How has that helped you?
That helps me get through any block that I feel coming along, such as the bridge one, for example. I would have a hard time saying walk across that bridge, and then me and Michael would talk, and then I could say something such, for example, as you just need to walk across that bridge right there. And just for example, that it helps me get through the blocks.
Okay. Good. Great. So now you're working as a trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're teaching class. In fact, you have another job too,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been working quite a bit there. So how do you feel about your future now?
My future, I definitely feel like it's brighter, as corny as that seems. Uh, I never really, I would say every career choice that you can have, you're going to have a speaking situation that you'll have to overcome and do.
Mhm.
And that's always been a big fear of mine, just talking on the phone, anything like that. And now that I see that I can do those small things, those small talks, and just meet people, it's helped me out a lot. And I'm not as I don't fear the future as much as I would have in the past, and I would be more likely to take a job offer or interview for a job to take that job, because this job that I have now as a group trainer, I was terrified, and I just got to the point where I just said, whatever, I'm going to do it. So I just came and did it, and I wasn't supposed to teach a class until I was about a month into the cycle, the program of being at the new gym. And the second day, he had to leave for a charity event. So I was just, oh my gosh. And I guess the fact that I didn't find out until the day I had to do it, I wasn't as nervous as if I had to go home and sleep on it and just let it melt. But I did it, and I would say it could have been way better, but I got through it. And now those same people that were in that class, they sign up for classes that I have, because he has an app on the App Store where you have to sign up for certain classes, and it says this class is by Tyler, this class is blah 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 blah, and people from that class are signing up for the classes that I have now. So it couldn't have been too bad.
Exactly. All right, so we're going to wrap up. I know you gave some advice a little earlier, so you can say that or you can say something else. But if you were going to give people who are watching this, there are all kinds of people from around the world that's going to be watching this video.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be folks who have been avoiding interviews, avoiding job situations, avoiding networking situations, right? Avoiding because of their speech. And they're out there searching for cures, searching for devices and other programs. And they're wondering, can I really get over this? Can I really get through this? And you said something that I have believed over the last 20 some years that helped me about this habits. So
Gotcha.
Tell us a little bit about that.
It's kind of weird. I'm pretty sure Michael once told me about the book. It's called The Power of Habit. And I think you told me about it. I'm not sure, but it's kind of weird. My boss at the gym has nothing to do with my stammer. Me and my boss, I don't even know if he knows that I have a stammer, or I see myself that I have one. And he told me about the book. It's just a book about developing healthy habits, how everything that you do in life is a habit, because your brain wants the easiest route to doing something, so it creates these habits so it doesn't have to work as hard.
Mhm.
And I came back and I told Michael, I was like, Michael, there's this great book called The Power of Habit, blah, blah, blah. I've been reading it. And then he comes to tell me that's what he's based a lot of his program off of, which is weird. And I've kind of learned that your speaking habit, or the way you speak, is a habit. And habits you can break, you can create. And ever since I've ran that point through my head, I've understood the fact that I can develop a new speaking habit, and it's going to take time, but it's a habit that I can create and that I have to create to speak better.
Absolutely. And I want people to really remember that, because sometimes people think of this as being permanent, as being a disease, a disability, just so that because they maybe don't believe that they can actually do something about it, or they've tried to do something about it and it didn't work. This works.
Yeah.
And it works because it's based on the fact that this is a habit and it's a skill. You can create new habits and you can learn new skills.
And as far as any more advice, I would definitely say that I'm starting to create that habit and the skill. It's getting there. It's not completely there because I'm still don't feel 100% confident in all situations. I'm there, but I was in a good spot about a couple weeks ago where I was on top of the world with confidence. I didn't really think about my speech, and at that point I was busy, so I didn't listen to the audios. I didn't practice. So then I started to notice my speech, it started to go down. So within the past week or two, I've been back at it, picking up all the audios and the videos and watching them again. And now my speech is great, and I need to keep it there. So don't get lazy with the programs and the audios.
Yeah. And just to let people know, you're not going to have to do that stuff forever, like listen to audios and watch videos forever. It's just until you get to the point that you and I were talking about, where you said you were talking, I think, to your grandma, and you weren't even thinking about speech or
even
anything.
at the gym, I've had some times now where I'll be talking, and if I come off as talking fast on here, Michael doesn't like talking fast because it's hard to talk smooth and clear. But working in the gym setting, I have to talk fast because I've got a bunch of clients I have to deal with. Like right now, I'm talking faster. Got to deal with a bunch of clients at the same time. And Michael, as far as speaking fast, if you can do it fluently, he doesn't see it as big of a problem. But if you can slow down, it helps out a lot. It helps me when I mentally think about slowing down. But at the gym, there's been times now where I'll be speaking fast, I'll be talking to clients, and mentally I'm not thinking about my stutter, but I'll mentally think about, hey, I'm not stuttering right now. And I keep speaking. And I don't physically feel any type of stammer coming on or anything. And that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. And that's the place that ultimately we want you to get to, where you're no longer thinking about, and you no longer see yourself as a stutterer or stammer, and you're no longer thinking about speech. You're just doing your job. You're doing life, right? You're not thinking about your speech. Good, good. Well, thank you, Tyler. We'll probably do another interview at some point about something a little more specific. This is more general.
That's fine.
We'll get back together maybe in a couple of weeks or a few weeks. But thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you.
And I
I'm glad that I'm here to help.